to be streaming. So I'm starting a little late today, but that's okay. We're just about a minute late. We're going to be doing some AKS deployment. I've been talking about this for weeks probably, getting the chatbot out to Azure basically, so it's not to run it locally anymore. And today we're going to try to get that done. Shouldn't take too long, supposing everything goes right, because I've done at this point, in the last 2 weeks or so, I've done probably half dozen or a dozen separate deployments of similar services to AKS. Similar in the sense that it's ASP.NET Core and Couchbase. But they're more complex, or they're less complex demo apps that I've deployed. So we'll see how it goes today. Should be fine. The number one rule here, only stupid question is the one you don't ask. So please ask questions, anything that comes to mind. We often get asked a lot about, what language are you using, or what are you working on, who do you work for, do you have experience in this or that. Those are all fine. Those are all questions that you are totally allowed to ask in this channel. So I don't care if you think it's stupid, if it's been asked before. If you want to know, ask the question. All right, I am a member of the team Live Coders. Let's close out my email here. Okay, let's bring this over here. I just want to show the Team Live Coders homepage here, twitch.tv/team/live coders. And you can see everyone on the team who's currently streaming. Looks like quite a few. And so if you're interested in live coding, you can go check out this team here. There's 107 of us right now. And we're all doing some form of live coding or engineering or software, stuff like that. Different time zones, different languages, but we're all on the same team. So this is a great place to start if you want to learn more and follow more live coders. So check it out there. Another thing you can check out is the awesome developers streaming list on GitHub. It's a text file on GitHub, so you can just do a Control F through it and find people who are streaming, not necessarily on Twitch, not necessarily on Live Coders team or any team for that matter, but they're doing live coding and they're doing it somewhere out there and they're doing all kinds of different topics. So check it out there, github.com/bnb/awesome developer streams. Okay. You can find my old videos of this show. If you're watching on Twitch right now, it is live, but I put the old episodes over to YouTube because Twitch will eventually expire after 30 days or whatever on Twitch, so I keep them on YouTube for you to watch and refer to later if you wish. So you can find those bit.ly/GrovesTube. The link is also down here, bottom of the screen, purple. You can see that down there, bit.ly/GrovesTube. Check it out. TwitchBot is off today, and this is because it needs a break. No, it is off because this is what we're going to be actually deploying. So I'm going to go ahead and just make sure it's off in OBS here. And so that won't actually work. So if you want to type in the commands like bang help down there and all the commands that it will tell you, those will not work because I got the TwitchBot off. I'm running it locally for a long period of time. After today, should be running in production indefinitely. Hopefully. We'll see how much it actually costs me in Azure credits. I don't think that much, but we'll see. And, the nice thing here is if I find someone else with cheaper Kubernetes hosting, I could very easily switch over there. So if the Azure proves to be too expensive, I do get some free Azure money. But if it proves to be too expensive, I can move over to DigitalOcean or AWS or whoever else relatively easily. Although I'm very much a fan of Azure, so I don't anticipate moving there unless it's a significant savings. All right, C# Advent is going on right now. And I close my browser again. But you can go to csadvent.christmas. That's the shortened version that Calvin purchased. Thank you, Calvin. But you can see it'll take us right to the list of the Advent posts. We're up to December 12th today, so we're up to 24 posts. We had a couple since last time. We had this podcast episode go up, which is incredible. The first podcast episode has been part of C# Advent, and it happens to be with John Skeet, so that's super amazing. That's probably one of my favorites so far. Not that I can really say they're favorites. They're all like my children, right? But I really like that one. That's pretty cool and unique. And we got some other posts here from Gamlor, who has hung out here on Twitch in the past, aka Roman Stoffel. He did a blog post. I posted it yesterday. And a couple today from Brian Jacket here in the Central Ohio area and James Curran, not from Central Ohio area, posting their C# Advent today. Tomorrow's will be very interesting. We'll see another Central Ohioan, Barrett Blake, and Ed Charbonneau, and company. Actually, this is going to be a team effort, I guess, putting together a Blazor panel. So that'll be another interesting and unique entry into the Advent. Not just a blog post. Not that there's anything wrong with a blog post. I love them. But this is a little bit different. It's a different piece of content. It's a panel. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works. So if you're interested in that, check it out, crosscuttingconcerns.com or csadvent.christmas. Both will take you to the same place right now. All right, this is my backlog, so let's get into it here. Let's just do some, let's just start doing some deployment. So here I've got my TwitchBot code. Let me just make sure that this is committed. Yeah, okay, so we're good there. All right, and what I want to do now is open up Visual Studio. And I'm going to go to the web project here, where the Docker file is, and I'm going to build a Docker image there. This process is going to be relatively manual. I don't have anything set up in terms of GitHub Actions or DevOps or anything like that. Yeah, this is happening. We're going to do a clean solution, and we'll try it again. But yeah, I eventually would like to get to a point of automated deployment. Although once I get it deployed the first time, it's really not going to be a whole lot to this. We're talking literally one ASP.NET Core image and one Couchbase cluster. It's really not terribly complex. But there is some value in automating that. So at some point, we might want to work on that. And GitHub Actions is something I've been meaning to try out for a while. It's one of those things I'll get around to it. Much like I kept saying I'd get around to Windows Terminal, and I'm using it exclusively now pretty much. Although I have found one minor problem with it. When I start, I don't know, this might be a problem for me, but when I start new tabs or when I start a terminal, it doesn't give me administrator. It doesn't use administrator elevation for these, which has not generally been a problem, although I did use some chocolatey today to update Git. You should all be updating Git now, by the way. There are some security problems in older versions, so make sure your Git is updated. But anywho, chocolatey needed administrator access. I didn't have that in this, so I had to close it out and restart with. But I think that is maybe something I can fiddle with. We'll see. But that's been one little minor issue with that. It would be nice if I could just open a new tab or have like Windows PowerShell and then Windows PowerShell Administrator as an option here. So that may be a possibility. I don't know. I don't know enough about this to say. But I do like it a lot. I'm just sort of killing time here while the Docker image is building. Okay, it looks like it's finished. So we can see Docker images. And up here, we've got Matt's TwitchBot web. Shrinking the font down a little bit here. Oh, it's still wrapping around. Okay. Anywho, there it is. Matt's TwitchBot web. And so I'm going to Docker tag with Matt Groves. This is like I did in the stream. I think it was last week or something. So many images. I probably need to clean some of these old ones out. Like, do I really need to have 462 of Couchbase locally cached? I don't think so. But what have you? Okay, Matt's TwitchBot. Okay, great. So we can Docker push Matt Groves, Matt's TwitchBot web. Okay, there it goes. And we'll go out to old Docker Hub. I think I might be logged in, so let me just do this off screen. I don't think there's anything sensitive on there. Okay, and there we go. Last post a few seconds ago. Okay, so we got that out there on Docker. Now, over here, Kubernetes. So I've got all my typical Couchbase stuff. So I've got 6.5.0-beta 2. And I don't know if I necessarily want to put a beta version out there, but I mean, it'll probably be fine. The thing with using beta versions like this is upgrading them or moving away from beta versions or upgrading to beta versions. It's not supported, right? Beta is not something that's supported in production basically at all. Now, if you are, if you're not a Couchbase customer, maybe you're not worried too much about support, right? If you're using Community Edition or something like that. So I might want to consider trying Community Edition with Kubernetes. I haven't actually tried that yet. I don't know if it'll work. I know there was some talk about. I know the Kubernetes operator is not open source, but there's some talk about allowing it to support the Community Edition of Couchbase, which is open source. So I don't know. Maybe we'll try that. Because I'm not using anything in my application that is contingent on enterprise, at least not yet. So it might just be fun to try it. Latest version of Community is 6.0. So it would be like this. Worth a shot. Now, there's some of the things that won't work in Community, like there's no analytics, right? There's no eventing. I wasn't using those anyway. And you can only, in Community, you can define services. You can pick services, but it has to be the same services across the whole cluster. It has to be homogeneous. No multi-dimensional scaling in Community Edition. And something like Plasma for index storage. It's memory optimized indexes. I don't think that's supported either. So it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens if I actually try to deploy that. All right. So actually, what I probably should be doing here, what I should have done a while ago actually, is get my cluster up and running. So AZ. This is the Azure command line utility, Azure CLI. Azure Group Create. We're going to call this Twitch Chat Bot Group. And we're going to give it a location of East US. That's the data center I think that's closest to me. Although North Central US might be, I don't know. I think East US will be fine. Okay, so then we got that group created. That's really quick and easy. So now we're going to create an actual AKS cluster. So we're going to use that Twitch Chat Bot Group, and we're going to call it Twitch Chat Bot AKS. We're going to give it a node count of just, I think we'll do it with 2. And I'm going to use a size of standard B2S, which is a relatively inexpensive one. Enable add-ons. I still haven't looked up what that actually does. And then generate SSH keys. Okay. Node code. Yeah, it's not node code, it's node count. This is stuff that can be done in the portal as well, and it can also be done in Azure Cloud Shell, which terminal supports. Pretty cool. But this is fine. We'll just do it this way. This is going to take a while to run. So while that's running, let's. What else can we do? I should have done this before the stream started. We can look at the actual deployment. So I'm not going to open those secrets because they contain the passwords and stuff that I plan to use. But this is the deployment file for the actual service. Not for the service, for the actual the ASP.NET core TwitchBot image that I'm pulling from Docker here. And there's a couple things. So this yellow lines tell me that I don't have resource limits, which I need to. It's probably a good idea to add those. And where do I have some examples of that I could pull from? Yes, in my code for my upcoming blog post I'm working on, I have some examples of this. So I'll open this up here in code. So here's my example I'm working on. This may change for the blog post, but it's kind of the minimal example here. So I've got these resources down here. So let's go and add those down at the bottom. All right. So we're limiting this service to 100M of CPU, whatever that M unit is. I'm not exactly sure. 128 RAM. Oh, this is request and limits. It's going to request this, I guess, from Kubernetes, but it's going to be limited to this amount of usage. Anywho, this is kind of, I'm just pulling this from the quick start guide that Microsoft put out for Kubernetes. We could probably play with those if we wanted to, but this seems sensible. So here's all the different environment variables that I'm passing in to the ASP.NET Core application. Now these environment variables will be automatically read in by ASP.NET, and they will override the app settings. So if I showed you the app settings here, which I think it's safe to do that, app settings development, you can see I've got a bunch of settings in here, and these are also being overwritten. Well, actually, they're not being overwritten. They should be overwritten by Docker Compose locally. They're not. I should have done that, but you know, as you can see here, this is what I expect the OAuth key and the client ID and the client secret ASP.NET is going to be pulling from this config file. Well, I don't want to actually deploy that to my Docker image because it's a public Docker image. It's an open source project. So instead, I'm going to put them in a secret, a Kubernetes secret, and it'll be basically injected in here, and it'll override these settings. Hopefully. Okay, so then here's the settings I want to overwrite. So we're going to overwrite the Couchbase username, which is going to pull from the secret I use for Couchbase itself. Maverick Twitch, hello, thank you for stopping in. Good to see you. The password, same thing, pulling from that same secret. Just now in EU time, just moved last weekend to Switzerland. Hey, it's Gamlor. We were just talking about you, Gamlor. You just moved last weekend to Switzerland. Where did you move from? From South Korea. Oh, I had no idea you're in South Korea. That's pretty cool. South Korea to Switzerland. That's pretty much all the way around the world, right? So this, I think, is incorrect. It's going to be pulling from CB TwitchBot. That is correct, but it needs to be a URL. And I believe that's one of the problems I had early on. The Twitch stuff will be coming from a separate secret file I have that has, I'm not going to show you this on the screen, but it's called twitchbot-app-secret. That contains the username, that's not really a secret, it's me, Matthew D. Groves. The OAuth key, which is totally secret. The app client ID, which is not, it's only half of a secret basically. And the client secret, which is absolutely something I cannot show you. So this thing I'll get passed in from the secret file, hopefully. We'll see how that works. And that should be it. Container port 500, that seems wrong. Yeah, let's switch over to 80 here. The other thing I want to look at is possibly something that, yeah, I've got, well, I thought I had it in here, to force TLS, to use HTTPS. I don't have that in here. I thought I did. I don't think it's a huge issue. Leaking secrets, my favorite activity, like pasting passwords to Slack and other chats. Yeah. Well, it's not such a big deal because it's just Twitch, but it's just a hassle because now I got to go in and invalidate the old one and get a new one and the whole thing. So I'd rather not show it on the screen because I do save all these videos to YouTube. So some hypothetical attacker out there could look through all my videos and find the 2 seconds where I had the secret on the screen and then use it to, I don't know, take over my Twitch channel or something. Which, I mean, I guess you could do some damage with that, financial damage, and whatever. But yeah, okay. So you can see the Twitch options here is being pulled from configuration. But like I said, everything injected into an environment variable, ASP.NET Core is going to pick it up and overwrite the app settings with that. And that's something it does by default, I guess. I don't think that used to be the case. You used to have to specify here in the program, but I think it does it by default. I could be wrong about that, but I know it does it because I'm using it with Docker Compose and with Kubernetes. Okay, so I think we're all set to go with deploying this as well. I'm going to start with just one replica. There's really no need to have any sort of load balancing here yet. I am not nearly popular enough on Twitch to require load balanced web farm for my chatbot. I'm not sure hardly anyone is really. Maybe Twitch plays Pokemon, that kind of situation would need it, but so, maybe some of the really popular gamers might want that sort of thing. But no, we're in the on a good day we'd have 50 people in here tops chatting. Not a big deal. So we'll stick with one for now. But in the future, I could go ahead and add more replicas very easily using Kubernetes. Okay, this is still running. Still running. What else? Is there anything else I can cover before? While that's running, the next step is I need to get the credentials. So I need to actually kind of connect my command line to the AKS cluster out there. I'm going to then create a series of Kubernetes resources. Again, I've said this before. Some of that could be done with Helm, I think. I'm not going to use Helm for now. This is not a huge deal. So what takes you from South Korea to Switzerland, Gambler? If you don't mind sharing, you don't have to, of course. Let's just take a look here. See, how far is South Korea from Switzerland? I don't know if Google Maps is going to tell me anything. Flight's not available, it says. Sorry, your search appears to be outside our current coverage area for driving. Yeah, I don't really want to do that. But we can just kind of see here. Oh, yeah, it's other side of the continent, I guess you could say. Not necessarily other side of the world, other side of the hemisphere. Switzerland to South Korea, or vice versa. We're still going here. Still going with our AKS Node Creation. See, this is where on YouTube you can just kind of fast forward a little bit, so you see the screen change a little bit. We lived in South Korea for like 7 years. So 7 years, that would have been 2012 or so. I think I would have known you around that time, back in the DB4O days. Now I'm moving back to Switzerland with my wife to see how she like it, so that we have a stable spot by the time our kid goes to kindergarten and school stuff. All right. So you're originally from Switzerland? That sort of thing? So you've got like family there and those sort of long-term concerns? That checks out. Okay, hey, look at that. It's done. So anybody watching on YouTube, this is where you fast forward to. All right. Okay, next step. Yeah, I'm Swiss. She is Korean. That explains the location. Yeah, that explains pretty much everything. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the credentials so I can start doing stuff with that cluster. The name of the cluster was Twitch. Was it Twitch Chat? I should have written this down. Twitch Chatbot. Yep, Twitch Chatbot Group. And the name of the cluster is Twitch Chatbot AKS. And that should do it. Okay, so I could then do something like kubectl get nodes, and you see I've got 2 nodes here, ready to go in Azure. Okay, so we're going to start by deploying some stuff there. Kubectl create. This is all just kind of boilerplate stuff to get the Couchbase operator up and running. CRD kubectl create operator role cube. Whoop, didn't like that one. I forgot the -f. Okay, kubectl create -f operator service account. Operator role binding. Because I already did operator role. kubectl creates operator deployment. Okay, and kubectl creates f secret. Now these are the Couchbase secrets, the username and password for that, which I will not be showing you that, hopefully. And now we're going to try the actual cluster. Kubectl create -f Couchbase cluster. I'm trying something new here, basically, because I'm using the community image there. So we'll see how that goes over. So we can say kubectl.get pods to just kind of see what pods we've created. These are the images that are running there on the AKS cluster. So CB twitchbot 001, and I think I asked for what? I asked for just one? No, 2 servers. I probably should have done one, but anyway. 2 servers. So when this is done, we'll see 2 CB twitchbot 000 and CB twitchbot 0001, hopefully. And that would be great if that works, because if that's all there is to it, then we can very easily deploy Couchbase Community to AKS as well. Okay, now one thing I want to show, I'm going to create this cluster role binding for Kubernetes dashboard, so that I can show you the actual Kubernetes dashboard. So let's open that in a different tab here. AKS Browse. The resource group is, what was it? Twitch Chat Bot Group. And the cluster name was Twitch Chat Bot AKS. And this should open, yep, a little UI here into Kubernetes. So we can see what's going on. And I could, for instance, drill into somewhere, secrets, for instance, and I could click in here and show you the actual secrets, the username and password that I put in there, which is a handy debugging tool, I think, to be able to see that kind of stuff and see what's actually being sent to these to make sure the correct thing is being sent. So right now we've got, oh, it looks like we have a problem. Okay, so I'm guessing the community thing did not work because the pod is gone away, which is not something that I normally would see. So we're going to switch this back to 6.5.0 beta 2. CTL, we're going to replace. We're going to use the enterprise images, or not enterprise image, but beta 2 image this time. Okay, and hopefully that will work. Get pods. It doesn't seem to be wanting to do it. Bhaskar has a question. Is AKS too complex for small applications from a resource standpoint? I would say, I don't know, that's going to be up to you, I think. What do you mean by a small application, right? But I think that the main thing for Kubernetes, there's 2 things, I think, for Kubernetes that give you the benefits. And if these aren't, by the way, thanks for stopping in, Bhaskar. Good to see you. If these 2 things aren't important to your small application, then Kubernetes might not be the right fit for you. So The two things I think that Kubernetes gives you is, one, the main benefit is kind of like you get with Docker, where you have a consistent way to deploy your applications to any environment. So AKS or EKS or GKE or OpenShift or what have you. You can go to any of those places with it, right? The second benefit is that well, there's a lot more other benefits too, but the second main one I think is ease of scaling. So I've kind of shown you this here earlier in the stream. We can just change this number here and change this number here, and we can scale up our application. If you don't think you're going to need scale, and you don't think, and you don't necessarily need containerization on AKS, then yeah, it might not be the right fit. Maybe you want to stick to an app service, for instance, or just do a plain VM. But the question is complex. I think Kubernetes itself is kind of a complex topic, just in general, and I don't think AKS really adds much additional complexity there. So if your question is more about Kubernetes in general, and not AKS specifically, that would be my answer. But if AKS is too complex, I'm not really a good person to ask that, because I've only really used AKS. I've not done a deployment to AWS or GKE or DigitalOcean or OpenShift or anything like that. Well, I may have done one to AWS once. With someone else's AWS account. This is kind of making me worried that something's messed up here, because that pod is not showing up. And I think it probably stems back to me trying to use a different image. So we're going to try a couple things here. Couchbase cluster. Oh, is it delete? Yeah. Okay. Just want to kind of start over here. I want to make sure I save that file. Couchbase cluster, yeah, version 6.5. So I have done this before. Well, I think I've done this before. Let me double check. Maybe I haven't used 6.5.beta. Yeah, I have. kubectl create -f couchbase cluster. Okay. Yeah, okay. So now it's starting again. I had to delete and then recreate it for some reason. Like just replacing it wasn't good enough. I think. Is that what I did? Did I do a replacement? Maybe I'm reading this wrong. Did you turn it on and off again? Yeah, exactly. Excuse me. Did I do a different tab? I don't know. Maybe did I change the text file and not actually do the replace? Oh gosh, that would be just like me, wouldn't it? All right. So anyway, we got that cluster starting out there. Wait for that to finish deploying here. And then we'll try deploying the actual chatbot application. See if it works. I remember trying this a few weeks back on the stream, and it wasn't working. But I've since done it successfully with much more simpler demo apps. So I'm pretty sure if there's a problem, it's on my end. So I think I feel confident that should be able to get through it this time. Unless there's something else I haven't thought about. We'll discover that together. CTL git pods. Okay. If I recall correctly, it ranges from like 2 to 5 minutes for individual Couchbase pod to get up and running. Okay, what else can we look at here? We're going to be deploying this next. So I covered all these already. Covered the resource limitations. We're just going to do one replica. And what I'm going to start out with is I'm going to just do a port forward, test it out and make sure that works. And after that, I'll go ahead and create a service, which I could do here in the YAML file. But I can also do something that Bhaskar actually showed me. I can just do straight from the command line. So we're about 2.5 minutes into that first pod there. Let's see, Bhaskar's got a crown, Twitch Prime. Gamler's got a snowflake. For direct relief, Maverick Twitch, if you're still around, yes, tip up your icon game. Hey, while we've got some time here, you know, I've been a Twitch affiliate for a few months now, and I reached the point where I actually got some revenue for the first time. So I was thinking about just giving this back, maybe giving out a prize or something. So I've got a little bit of a budget there. So I just need ideas on what prize to give and or how to give it away. You know, ideally it'd be something promotional that would bring in more viewers, more members here, more subscribers and more followers and so on. It doesn't have to be. All right, we got the one pod running. Do a tweet like the sticker mule stuff. There's revenue with a coder stream. We're not expect that. I expect it to be pennies. I mean, I kind of expected that to be the case too, Gambler, but when people subscribe to my channel, whether, you know, they could be Twitch Prime, right, which means they get one free subscription, but anytime someone subscribes, I split that subscription money with Twitch. I'm not sure what the split is, but it's not a huge amount of money, right? But it's enough to buy a somewhat decent prize, and so yeah, I don't expect to quit my job anytime soon, but it's a little bit of money. What are you talking about, Bhaskar, with the sticker mule stuff? Could you? I'm logged out of Twitter again. Sticker mule. Oh, give everyone a bonus. Is that what you mean? Telling I will give $1,000. To a retweet to be eligible. I don't see anything like that. I see they gave $1,000 bonuses to their employees. That's pretty cool. If you have a link to a specific tweet, Bhaskar, go ahead and put it in the channel there so I can see what you're talking about here. But what I'd like to do is December 7th tweet, December 10th tweet. This one right here. Yeah, this is just, I mean, they're talking about giving their employees bonuses, which is really cool. I don't have enough money to give everyone $1,000 bonus. I don't have enough to give everybody $100 bonus. So, the next one, okay. Today may be the best day in Sticker Mule history, but the bigger and better days are coming. Or are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything like that here. Trending topic. Okay. I don't know. If you find something specific and post a link there, I can bring it up. But the idea here is not just to get people to follow me on Twitter, although that's nice too, but to get people to come in here on Twitch and hang out with us and ask questions. And okay, I think we're good to go. We've got the pods up and running. And I can connect to this. Not connect necessarily, but I will open up a kind of tunnel. Port forwarding tunnel. Port forward. Let me just make sure I don't have anything running locally. I don't, okay. Port forward. CB. And I called it, what did I call it? Twitch bot. 0000 8091 is probably fine. So that's going to forward that port to my local machine. So I can then log into it. Now, it's not administrator password this time. I actually have a real set of credentials in there. So I'm not going to show those to you. You do not get to see them. But I need to find them. Where do I have them stored locally? Secret. There we go. Secret. I've got a secret. Although you'll probably see the username anyway once I log in. Okay, there we go. I'm logged in. I've got a Twitch chat bucket, and I've got credentials, and there we go. We're all set. So Couchbase database up and running. Next thing to do is to deploy the actual service. And it is, kubectl create -f, and it's called Twitch bots. Did I deploy the secret already? That's going to be important. Twitch bot app. Okay. That should be a pretty quick one to get up and running there, assuming it doesn't error out like it was doing for me before. It's taking a little bit of time, actually. That's concerning. This should be much faster, I think. So that tells me that something's wrong there, probably. Oh, maybe not. There, it's running now. Okay, terrific. So let's try doing a port forward to that. Where's my port forward at? kubectl port forward, port-forward, kubectl port-forward, and the name of the pod is this one. And let's do port 5000 here locally, but port 80 out there inside container. Well, that seems to be working. What do you know? Great. There's no actual data in there yet. But as soon as someone chats, something should happen. So I'm just going to try myself here. Okay. Not working. Why is that? Yeah, nothing's happening. Oh, did it actually send you help, Gambler? It did send you help. Okay, so it is working. The badumtus is not working, though. Oh. Why would it send help but not the badumtus? A bang profile is not a command, as far as I know. Oh, I know why it's not sending you the badumtus, because this needs to be a document in the database. So I need to actually, okay, look at that. 6 items are in there, so it is working. Oh, profile, okay, sorry, you're wrong. You're right. Profile is legitimate. But I need to add this document for the sound effects to be working. Valid sound effects is the name of it. Whoops. This is a way for me to make I forgot I did this, a way for me to make the sound effects more data-driven. This was the start of it. Okay, so now sound effects should work. Did you hear that? It works. Fantastic. All right. Now what is this? Gumroad. Immediately after Sticker Mill, Gumroad did something like this. So Give $7,000 to a random person who retweets this tweet. You have to be following us so we can DM you if you win. Okay. You know, just giving away money is fine, but I'm thinking more along the lines of like a prize, like something like a toy, sort of thing. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I am that went smoothly. So I think there's a little bit more work I have to do in terms of features of this app, but I've got it deployed to AKS. This is all running out there in the cloud now. So what I would do next is I would I'm going to take this into OPS. I'm going to put the, yep, there we go. So now that it's not in the browser anymore. Now it's just running in OBS, sorry. So if budget's up to $150, give it as a conference ticket. Any particular conference you have in mind there, Bhaskar, by any chance? Any conferences you'd like to talk about? Maybe post a link to in the chat there. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You can plug your conference here. I'm okay with that. 150 for a conference ticket. That's, I mean, that'd be a smaller conference probably. Okay, but as you can see, the data keeps rolling in here. And I probably should, at some point, take all the data I have locally and migrate it out here. That shouldn't be a big deal. That's some port forwarding to make that happen. And that'll be something I can do now, probably. Or I can just do it later, moving data around. What else? So that was great. That was super easy. So this, I know what I'm going to do next. I'm using port forwarding right now, which is fine, except that I have to do this every time. I have to port forward every time, which may not a big deal. But what I want to do is demonstrate something that Bhaskar showed me, which was exposing a service via the command line. Now, I think I could do this with the YAML file as well, so I probably will want to do this with the YAML file. But I can create a service here, kubectl, expose, deployments, and I'm going to use select this one here, port 80, type equals load balancer. Oh, that's not the name of the deployment, that's the name of the pod. The name of the deployment is TwitchBot app development. Yeah, so all this nonsense can come off there. There we go. So now I've got a service that's spinning up right here behind a load balancer. Now again, it's just one machine, so it's not really load balancing. It's just kind of a pass-through at this point. But when it's done here, there's going to be an external IP address. Now, it's going to be a little weird because I have no authentication on this site whatsoever. So any of you that can see this IP address can actually access the site. Until I remove the service. But I don't think that's a huge deal. I don't think you can do any damage. Well, yeah, you could probably do some damage. So, yeah, I'm going to have to add some authentication to that to keep the general public away from abusing my chatbot. So I've got the IP address there. I kind of don't want to show it to you, but there is an external IP there. Here, I'll just move this back over here. So what I'm not going to scroll down, but what I have here instead of pending is I have an actual IP address. And I could plug that into a browser, and I get access to the chatbot web page that way. And I wouldn't have to have port forwarding turned on at all. So there we go. Now that's an IP address. The next step would be to add a domain name to it. I don't know if I really need that for a chatbot. IP address is probably fine. But there we go. So easy as that. We're up and running in AKS, in production. And so To make changes, I'm going to have to see how this works, but obviously I'm going to have to build Docker image and publish it out there to Docker Hub. And then Kubernetes will automatically pull the latest. I think it'll automatically pull the latest because I didn't tag it with anything. I said, just give me, over here, just give me this image here. Now, if I was more responsible, I would tag this with like, a release number. So it wouldn't pull a new version unless I wanted it to. But I think what's going to do here is always going to pull the latest image for that container. So I don't know. I was looking into that, see how that works. But there we go. All right. So that's kind of really all I wanted to go over today. Just a quick deploy out there to AKS. Let me write down some of this stuff that Bhaskar has said for giveaway ideas. So a conference ticket. It's good. Just give away cash. Now, so those are interesting prizes to give away. My idea was some sort of toy prize. I don't know what it would be. Now the question is then, how do I actually choose who to give this to? And the idea would be, again, to get people to come into this channel and follow and hang out and just see what's going on here and join us. Pluralsight subscription. All right. Another good suggestion. Pluralsight. Lots of great content on there. But then how do I give it away? So do I give it away to a random Twitch follower? Is that kind of what I should do? Or should I have you, a random, I can select a random person in my actual Twitch bot data. So someone that's been in the room and chatted at some point. Give it away to one of them. So I have lots of followers, but not all of them actually come into the channel and hang out and stuff like that. So I kind of reward that behavior, right? Okay, I'll have to think about that. A random person in my Twitch data. Give away my book. Is that a little self-serving? To buy a copy of my own book and give it away as a prize. My 7+-year-old book. maybe give away another, a Manning book of some sort. I could see that. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you for hanging out with me, Gamlor and Bhaskar and Maverick. And I thought there was one more who came in here, but I can't remember. Anyway, thank you for all hanging out with me. We're going to go and we're going to raid somebody. Who shall we raid? Who let the dogs out? CLW is always good. Michael Jolly, I just raided Michael Jolly recently. We could go, all right, Instafluff. Do like Instafluff. Clancy? Yeah, it keeps turning on my audio. It says Comets, working with John. I don't know what that means. RhymeU8394. I think I've raided them recently. Twilio Corey, yeah. It seems like whenever I raid him this time of day, he's about to close up his own stream. So why don't I just tenuously say CLW. Let's just see what he's streaming first before we head on over there. Watch this Rocket League commercial. Just make sure he's not wrapping up.
On my burner. But I see my burners here.
Okay, sounds like he's into Twilio stuff. So definitely join me over there, CLW. Hit that bada bing, bada boom Calvin head for a nice raid. go head on over, and I'll see you over there soon. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. I'll be back Tuesday on the 17th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, United States Eastern Time. Until then, have a good one.